with a bunch of stand-ins that they've kept swapping for different members of their original roster. And then Team Spirit, which has had their whole roster for the tournament, who are 4-4, just like basically everybody else in the group, it feels like.
There has been a lot of draws, which isn't, I mean, that uncommon with previous tournaments that we've had this year with 2-game series, but I feel like this tournament has really taken it to the extreme. I was just looking at one of the groups with a 3-way tie in the middle with 3 teams having 5 draws. Every game is worth a lot right now. You want to get that top 4 finish. And even with Tundra being 5-3, as you said, at 2-0 more or less guarantees them top 4 actually, because then their worst possible score is 7-7, and I think that is likely to at least get you a tiebreaker. And for Spirit, obviously, the breaking that constant draw pattern would be really nice. I don't know what to expect from this series. I honestly think a draw is probably the most likely outcome, so we'll see what they bring to the table. The panel went over the draft in quite a lot of detail. I agree with basically everything that they said. It's going to come down a lot to basically, I mean, this is how a lot of Tundra's games are when they have Doom, right? It's like, okay, do you get to that point where Doom starts becoming a real big threat? Do you have the mid-game timing with him and Bloodseeker and Void Spirit together? And the biggest wildcard of the whole draft is probably the last pick Spirit Breaker, right? So that's my hero to watch, probably, is King Collapse.
My hero to watch is Juggernaut.
All right, well.
We saw, who was it? Was it Arteezy playing that
Yep.
in the previous series?
Sure was.
What are your thoughts on this hero in this patch? Because the beginning of the patch, he was, I believe, not picked at all, the Major, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty much, yeah.
At the very least, very low pick rate.
I think part of the reason he's making a bit of a comeback is, first of all, Yotaro, who's playing it this game, innovating a little bit with his skill build and focusing more on the Blade Dance talents and going a little bit back to the root. I don't know if the roots is the right way to say it, but focusing as well a little bit on the stats, both in his build and in his skill build. And then also just the shift in the meta. I think some of the heroes that Juggernaut really dislikes have maybe fallen a little bit out of favor with the rise of Universal Heroes, so his hero-to-hero matchups in the game are a bit better. Some of the supports that are played on 5 now, such as Lich, are incredible pairings. They're running that this game.
Okay, here's an additional question to piggyback off of that. Would you say, versus the last patch, meaning before 7.33, were lanes more important or less important or the same as now?
Probably the same, I think.
Because Juggernaut is a very good, I mean, he's a good hero killer in lane, right?
Yes.
Historically.
He's generally not considered a particularly strong laner unless he has the right matchups, right? He has to run in, he has nothing that has any sort of range. He needs to stick on his target for a long time with Bladestorm to do meaningful damage. And if you see this hero in the draft, you can obviously counterpick that if you want to. You can just get a hero that has any sort of mobility or is ranged, and it will be hard for Jugger to put pressure. But in this case, 33 on the Doom is a potentially killable target. However, Doom is still on the tankier side of the scale, and he's picked up the heal creep as well here.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to rip through. But as long as it's not the Chain Lightning, or whatever the hell that thing is called.
Yeah, that is.
Then the lane just ends, I guess. As bottom lane, looks like Snake King is going to get first blooded. Credit goes to Mira. And do get to see the Spirit Breaker as the last pick as well. We kind of talked about it a bit. The panel discussed it more than us, but does that surprise you at all that that was the final pick? I mean, the thing I do like about Collapse and Team Spirit in general, his heroes are just, feels like they're more unique than other teams. Like, he's willing to pull out these axes, these ogres, Spirit Breakers. I'm not saying nobody else plays them, but he picks them more often.
Oh, I agree. I think Spirit has been one of the more enjoyable teams to watch in drafting because they have like their own stuff, right? First phasing a Jugger is not something, like overall first picking it is not something other teams would really do. And Collapse's hero pool is entertaining. So I agree. I'm not too surprised. I think it just fits the bill for what they want to do. Also, BSJ predicted it, which means that obviously he's a very smart guy. So
yep, so they say.
There's a good chance if he calls it that it has its merits.
Yep,
Mira's in trouble here.
Actually will hit Mira. Yeah, he's going to pop his wand, attempt to run away.
In here probably.
And Skeeter just going to continue to right click, gets charged, and that will break things up. Mira took a lot of damage for that, though.
'Though. Yeah, no salve on him either, so a bit of a power play now for Skitter. with the Thirst. Seeing a TP back to base from Mira actually here. It's quite the commitment to port back minute 4. It's a long walk back to lane. At least he has the gold for boots, so that'll make it a little bit easier.
Well, solo XP for Collapse. I'm sure he's somewhat happy about that, as long as he doesn't die, of course.
Yeah, that's another upside here. Is Spirit Breaker as a hero has some lane matchups that can be really rough, but in this case, not exactly the most fearsome killer lane. Silencer plus Bloodseeker.
Okay. If you get 2 bashes in a row.
Okay. if you don't like play the lane too greedy, you're going to be fine. And he's closing in on a Vanguard, at which point, honestly, Mira can do whatever he wants. And that's a real feels good situation for Shadow Demon. It's the single best support in the game at stacking camps. And it's something that we might see them take advantage of. Yatoro is going to go Battle Fury on Jugger.
Can he get a 4th? No. So will
that
just
been a
barely
kill.
live. Yeah. Thought they were trying to set that up for the potential charge, but doesn't want to. Well, either he lost vision or doesn't want to go too deep here.
And have the mana, actually.
Support. Oh, yeah, true.
It's 100 mana cost.
Collapse has a level advantage right now. He's going to go for the charge outside of the Blood Right as well, and that's going to lead to the kill onto Snake King. Disruption, keeping Collapse safe for now. Mira trying to body block, but Skeeter runs right through him and gets the collateral onto Collapse, so 1 for 1.
The block right there.
6-minute rune coming up. Nice Aether Remnant will secure the bottom one if it pops up. It does. It's Illusion, which we'll just use right away.
Yeah, there is some potential playmaking here from Void Spirit plus Mirana. You can Aether Remnant into Arrow. It's not an easy combo by any means to hit, but now that Malrine has hit level 6, this is like the perfect timing to look for an assassination onto Laurel. Windranger level 5 is a very susceptible hero. Sure, she has a little bit of extra health from the Bracer and Crown, but I still think this will be a kill with any +1, helping out Malrine if he lands all his spells. It doesn't seem to be the idea for now, though. The supports will be heading to their respective side lanes for now, obviously. It's probably the better idea considering the time on the clock wasn't really fully focused on that, but we're 15 seconds away from the Wisdom Runes, and you want to get at least one of those every game.
Yep.
So they have...
Every game? That sounds very little, actually.
Every cycle.
Okay, every cycle.
And they will be giving the top one to 33, as it looks. So not going to a support here. Immersion will be relatively low level now as a result.
That's okay. He doesn't need anything. You need that Doom online as fast as possible. And mid lane, I mean, we kind of discussed it, but it was pretty much a wash in terms of the CS. As top lane, we have some action. Aposhka is going to get Infernal Bladed. Immersion was the original target for Team Spirit, but it's not going to come to anything.
Yeah, with that Wisdom Rune, 33 is going to crack 6 before Yatoro. It's not an easy kill to get in this top lane, though. They might need a Malrine rotation, but we'll see if they try to line that up. That's that 6 pop for Doom.
We'll see how deep they want to go. Healing Ward already up and running. Immersion looking for an opening on the arrow. See if they can bully the Juggernaut out of lane or not. As Mira gets up to Disruption. Collapse looking for the lucky bash. Not going to get it.
So fast.
There are 4 stacks of Shadow Poison, but it's not going to be enough for the kill. But they should be able to take out Snake King. As Collapse trying to focus down Bloodseeker instead, so kind of splitting their targets, which means nobody dies.
4 stacks on Snake. A 5th one would almost do it here. Shadow Demon with the level 3 poison.
Oh, yeah, wow, you're right. Little tick of damage there.
Yeah, Raindrop definitely a big help, but it was also only the 4 stacks, so...
And Skeeter not too far away from his level 6. We'll see what kind of rotations he wants to make. We've been seeing a lot of Bloodseekers just, once they hit that level 6, they go gank, and then they go back to farming.
Yeah.
Pretty much off cooldown with that Rupture. Feels like that's been the, in a way, the carry of this patch, I feel like. It's been an extremely common pick.
Yeah.
The Bloodseeker.
Absolutely. It's interesting how the development and itemization has opened up new paths for him, right? In a meta right now that's lane focused and where the heroes that Bloodseeker struggles against in lane don't seem to be picked very often. First of all, you get off to a good laning stage, and then later in the game we've seen Blood Mist be picked up. Sometimes we've seen
Doom is used. That's instant TP. He's going to dodge the arrow. Skeeter's here with the Rupture. Going to use it, and that's going to lead to the
nice
death of
try on
Yatoro.
the
Good attempt on the deny, but it's not going to happen. Now Collapse looks to potentially be next. More TP's coming in, though. Astro Step, Malrine. Can they get the Spirit Breaker? No, because the double shackle comes out. Malrine looks like he's going to eventually drop. They do get the Spirit Breaker in the end, but it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Tundra.
Really nice shackle. Salvaged that situation completely, Laurel. Without that one, it's just a clean kill and getaway. Arrow? All right. Pushka was paying attention there. That was a pretty big commitment from Tundra. They used the Bloodseeker rotation with the gate. They used 2 ultis. All right. 33 fancying his chances here.
Yeah, he wants a bit of that.
Not really going to connect, though. So yeah, pretty big commitment overall from the side of Tundra, using those 2 ults. But in the end, decent result. They get the Jug kill. They get the Spirit Breakers with 2 cores. Not too bad.
Yeah, in terms of the pace of the game, how fast do Team Spirit want to play? Because they're the ones with the more, I would say, slightly unusual lineup. This feels like it's the type of lineup that just wants to run at you at a certain point.
Yeah.
But like, how many items does Jug need to get to that?
I don't know. I think perhaps our perspective on this lineup is a little bit outdated. Like, when I look at it, I actually think Team Spirit can win this game super late.
Well, I'm not saying they can't win it late, but it does feel like a very aggressive lineup.
Both teams have it, though, right? Like, there's also some very strong mid-game from Tundra with the Doom, with the Void Spirit, with the Bloodseeker as a tempo carry like we talked about. So I think there's no like obvious time where I would say one lineup is just clearly superior than the other. It's a very balanced draft. Both teams can play late. Both teams can play mid-game. The lanes, as we've seen, have gone pretty evenly. There's another go now on Yotaro.
Rupture arrow. Goodbye.
Nice kill.
So Yotaro takes the tumble in mid lane. See? Demonic Purge onto Malrine, but Lara wasn't able to line up anything else to finish the job. So not really able to get the trade across the map. As Might is still being worked on by 33. From the Dooms that you've been seeing, any different creeps, or are we still seeing the Blink War Stomp?
I mean, sometimes you see the Alpha Wolf, right? We've seen some cute plays sometimes with the Wild Wing, the Hurricane.
Yeah, the Hurricane has been pretty value. It's 33. He's going to get disrupted. Lara trying to...
dead.
Yeah, he's going to get off the Doom, actually. Not to much avail, at least not yet. 33. Chain Frost is going to finish him off for the most part. Nice shackle again onto the Void Spirit as Laurel, he's silenced right now thanks to the curse. And he has to be careful, trying to run away, but he's just outnumbered. So it ends up being a 2-for-1.
Bit of int stolen there for snaking as well. And obviously, stealing int from Universal Heroes will always...
All right, takes the melee arrow to the face. Blood Right's there, will connect. And down he goes, so sticking around a little bit too long.
A couple of nice pickups here for Tundra.
Absolutely.
It's interesting to see this whole silencer dynamic, right? Because he used to, it used to hurt specific heroes that either had bad mana pools or were int, like they would lose damage. But against Universal heroes, they will just always lose damage, right?
Yeah.
So.
And by the way, I was thinking a little bit more about your +2, -2 thing, how it's a negative outlook. And you're right, of course, but in a way, it's more unique than the other stacks, as we're going to see the Aether Remnant come out onto Laurel. Sinister Gaze from Hoshka on the high ground.
Should be okay.
And the Dissimulate tries to go to the high ground, though,
okay,
but we'll have to use the Astral instead.
Ooh, I thought he didn't have any mana left, but he did have a stick.
They're
going to go for it.
They want to go. Shackle Shot's not going to fully hit. The charge does, though, and that is enough to get Malrine. They can reserve that Nether Strike for immersion, but he's got the leap to get away. Skeeter's made his rotation over now. Has the Rupture, will use it. Collapse attempting to TP out, but the arrow's there. So they get some sort of a trade. Looks like Mira might be next on the list as well.
Yeah, no TP on him. They don't have any leap, though, so he might actually just be able to walk it off here.
And Blood Right's coming. He is very slow. And 33, he's going to get Sinister Gazed, but
he will
Starstorm, Mira finally goes down. The Frost was used, as you've patented. Stupid-ass joke, actually.
It's a good joke, because I made it.
Yeah.
It gets my stamp of approval.
Good.
Yes.
Anyway, back to the stacks of Silencer. It's unique because you're stealing stats permanently from other people, which it doesn't exist that I can think of. Like, Essence Shift is temporary.
Yeah, and when Slark gets a kill, wait, does he steal the agility?
No, he just
gains, and Pudge just gains.
Yeah.
I don't know, I had to do a double take on whether Slark actually stole Agi from the permanent one, but he only steals from the temporary one. Not exactly my most played hero.
Yeah, it's okay.
2K lead for Tundra. They do have Doom, of course, but don't really think Devour is too big of a part of this. Yeah, good read.
Indeed, but now they see this stack, this really juicy stack. There's a lot of juice within those Ancients.
Yeah, don't have the best ways of taking it, though, with their lineup, so...
Well, they'd have Void Spirit.
Yeah, it's okay. You will have to use ults for it, and they could use a Blood Right, but yeah, not happening here. So Yatoro should be able to finish this off with his Battle Fury. Very nice injection of wealth. The rich get richer.
Yeah, and that Battle Fury being put to good use. And it looks like he's going to be going for the S and Y this game. For the status resist on both Doom and Rupture. I guess that can't be... I missed the days where SNY was more of a thing, but I'm glad that we're seeing a little bit more than we have in the last couple years. It is a boring item, though, now. Now that it doesn't have the MAME. Is Sinister Gaze. Nice Chain Frost. That one gets truly...
That was a good chain.
It was actually a chain this time.
Yep.
Worthy of its name.
A nice kill. It's not going to at least lead to the tower, though, even though they have the siege creep. Tundra are well positioned with both their Void Spirit and Mirana to cover this, so Spirit aren't going to take the risk. And, okay, well, that's a dead Spirit Breaker.
33 making sure to get that Hand of Midas usage at the right time during the kill, during the chase itself.
If anyone in the world would do that, it would be him. So
who was I watching? I was watching, it was somebody on Aster that had Midas, and they backpacked it because they had 5 items plus Aegis, and it was off cooldown, and there was like no fighting for like 3 minutes. He never put his inventory, and then he just sold it. He never used it.
Oh.
Like, come on, bro. Come on. Shackle shot into the focus fire. Snake King's dead.
Got the D ward, though.
Indeed.
So a 1-for-1 trade. Don't think there's any defense being mounted for this bottom tower now for Tundra. Without their silencer in play for 20 seconds, Jugger will be able to clean this up. And yeah, still for all intents and purposes, a very even game right now. 17 minutes in. It's a 1K lead for Tundra.
Who have Doom with Midas.
There's a bit of Devour in there. There's a bit of Midas in there. So effectively, probably relatively even. And my big question is going to be, what's the gold curve going to look like for Bloodseeker against Jugger? Because this is not a matchup that I've seen all too much. In terms of like pacing, I feel like Jugger with Battle Fury should be a bit faster. So maybe he can at some point get a 1-item advantage over the Bloodseeker, and that could be instrumental in a potential Spirit victory here. But still very close. So mid tower will be claimed now claimed by Malrine. They're going to go for a smoke, and I think the perfect target to find here is probably the Wind Ranger.
Or Yatoro, if they can find him.
Of course,
they get the silence off, and he's dead. He just walked right into them. Obviously had no clue they were there.
He didn't.
What a gift for Tundra.
He did not react. I'm wondering if his camera was on himself, because he could have absolutely got a spin off there. I don't think it was on cooldown, and he walked into a smoke. It was not Moonlight Shadow at the time, I think, right? I think they broke. He was right in front of somebody, and then...
Yeah, Global Silence has a little bit of a cast time.
Exactly, so that there was actually time, but I think
probably
Yatoro was
scratching himself. You know, I've been there before. Sometimes it gets you killed, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
And you don't regret your decisions because you really need to scratch.
Yeah.
That's definitely what happened. That's the lore of this game. So now, with just that kill...
Get a replay of that.
You can see Tundra's net worth. Lead has... Say
Laurel?
Blue, but it's up to 4K
Arrow's gonna
now.
miss. That's a kill probably now.
Yeah, focus fire into Snake King. Has to use the Wind Run to catch up, which means Malrine can catch up as well. But Mira with a nice disruption, and Laurel's going to be A-okay. They do find the Lich on the other side, though.
Skitter and 33 connecting. That's going to use another Rupture for that kill on the Lich. Not that big of a deal, though. I think actually one of the more underappreciated parts of Bloodseeker is the fact that as a carry that has an active ult, the cooldown on Rupture is actually really low relative to how good the spell is, right? It's a 70-second cooldown on level 2. So every time it's ready, you just go and kill a support, you go back to farming. In comparison to skill like Omni Slash, you're looking at 120.
Which I don't think we've seen yet, this game.
Suddenly becoming a meaningful lead now for the side of Tundra. Another kill here. Malrine making quick work of Mira. just assassinating him with his very standard Echo Saber build here, but also has the Grove Bow to boot, so more damage.
Oh, he actually disintegrates first. That means the charge will connect. Nether Strike as well, but do they have the follow-up damage? Arrow's coming to try to give him some space. Looks like he's going to be fine for the time being. Astral steps to the high ground. Yatoro actually does use the Omni Slash. 33 raised his hands up, but couldn't quite get off the Doom. Collapsed with a nice charge to help the rest of his team get away. It's going to cost the Rupture. And actually, Collapse might live through this, finally.
Oh, the arrow!
The arrow actually connects after the Doom, and after all of that space created by Collapse, they still lose Yatoro.
Oh, dear.
That was actually looking very good. A very good disengage overall from Team Spirit, and just a slight mistake there.
And Tundra did a good job at bouncing the Omni Slash between their heroes. So I think he meant to try to kill Malrine because they got a really nice shackle shot, I have to say, but this is the aftermath of it. It happened before this, but Laurel found a shackle shot on a creep to chain to Malrine for full duration, but Omni Slash just not enough yet, and it was connected between multiple heroes, so yep, didn't quite work out.
Malrine wants to get some more, but have to wait.
So Malrine is close now to a Nullifier, which is obviously going to be an amazing item against the Wind Ranger in particular. We've got the Dagger coming up for 33.
The Frost Shield has been pretty annoying as well.
Frost Shield too, absolutely, yeah.
And
multi-purpose.
You can dispel Bulldoze, right?
Yes, that as well. It's a very good Nullifier game. I feel like
it's always a pretty damn good Nullifier game.
It's kind of funny how that item went from not being that relevant a lot of the time to being seen almost every game.
Well, that's what happens when Collapse gets off the Nether Strike. Ooh, okay.
See you later.
Instant kill. That's what happens when you make the item non-dispellable. The Nullifier itself.
Yep.
You can't counter it, other than like Lincoln's, I guess. It's crazy. It's Collapse takes the Rupture. It's going to try to walk it off, but he's bleeding from every orifice and thus will die.
Really pushing the limits a bit here. Not exactly Collapse's best game so far. I feel like a lot of the time he's been caught by this Rupture, and the panel talked about it. Is that a good matchup or not for Spirit Breaker? It definitely has its plays against the Bloodseeker, but if you're not charging him and he's in the range of you after you connect, you have no disengage plan. He's been punished like 4 or 5 times by Rupture in this game, so not exactly the best conditions. 33 with a Dagger.
Yep, gets off the War Stomp. Laurel is dead.
Oh my god, the damage is just so dirty.
War Stomp gamers. I believe that skill does not scale particularly well.
It just scales in damage. It's extremely irrelevant.
And it scales by 25 damage.
That's so irrelevant.
That's kind of weird that they didn't scale the stun.
If they scaled the stun, it would be nutty.
Well, it would be lesser to start.
Yeah, so a lower level 1 stun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Do you think, if it's scaled by stun, what do you think the max level duration should be?
What is it now, 1.6?
1.6.
I think it's fine, 1.6.
Yeah, okay. So what would it start on then, like 1 and then 0.2 per level or something?
Well, 1.6, in that case, then only Chen can get the 1.6.
That's a very good point.
So 1.2, I guess.
Yeah.
As Roshan will be taken by Tundra.
Yep.
Will be uncontested.
See if they have any Tormentor plans on their own side of the map, plus the Wisdom Rune that's been sitting nice and pretty there for 2 minutes now. The enemy Tormentor has already been claimed by Spirit, so not...
Oh, who got the shard?
They will...
Maposhka did.
Yep.
The Ice Spire back at it again. 33 already has his shard, so I believe he just purchased that straight up.
Yep.
That gives you the extra damage and stun duration on Infernal Blade, which combos extremely well with War Stomp. I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but especially with Octarine Core, you blink in, you Infernal Blade first if you can get away with it, then you War Stomp, then you can Infernal Blade again once it's over.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because the cooldown on Infernal Blade when you have Octarine is 3 seconds.
But the only issue is the cast animation, I believe, is longer for Infernal Blade on the initial one. So you have to be sure that you can get it off. Is that not the case?
I don't actually think Infernal Blade is slower than War Stomp. When you have enough attack speed, right? He has Midas. It's probably kind of close, honestly.
Potentially.
What's faster? The reason that you usually would blink War Stomp is that the Infernal Blade without shard is not a long... Okay, hang on.
Focus fire!
He's
Doom!
probably fine.
TP? He's okay.
He had a big, nice flower there.
Yeah,
for
the
a
Lotus
big-ass
definitely
heal.
saved him there. Immersion might not be so lucky. No leaps available.
Oh, they disrupted him.
Yeah, that's a little strange. Rupture onto Collapse with the nullifier as well. They finally get the Murano. That's just the support. The cow is dead. Meat will fill the bellies
Not a good
of
disruption
Tundra
there
tonight.
from Mira. Bit of a rare mistake from him, but I don't think that was particularly helpful. Maybe he thought Mirana had leaps, and he wanted to make sure that they could disrupt into spell comboing, so understandable, I suppose, from that perspective.
Well, how does that work? I feel like I've seen this interaction. If you leap and get disrupted at the same time, don't you end up where the leap is instead of the disruption?
I think so, but it's more that if, in his mind, if Mirana has leaps there and he doesn't disrupt, she just leaps away. So there was a way of keeping her in place and letting them line up their spells afterwards, but yeah, not worth it. So just to finish off on the Doom tangent we had with War Stomp, I think the reason that Dooms would usually start with Blink Stomp is that without Shard, Infernal Blade doesn't last long enough that you could Blade into War Stomp.
Yeah.
But once you have the Shard, you get that luxury, so I think it's just faster to do it that way around and safer.
Well, we'll have to test that after this game.
And another thing, when you blink War Stomp, you can miss, right? Like, you need to be in a very close proximity, but...
Well, you can miss with Infernal Blade if you misclick.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a miss.
Thank you, Sunsfan. Sunsfan TV. Sorry, need the full name.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Octarine now finished on the Space Cow.
Closing in on a Lincoln's now for Malrine. Just really nice item progression being made by Tundra here. The last 10 minutes have just not been particularly good for Spirit. Haven't really been able to find much of an opening. And if they lose their Jugger here, 33 hot on his tail. He has Doom.
Yep. Oh, he actually starts with the Stomp, gets off the Doom. Healing Ward is out of range now. The Kitty's coming, but it's not going to be nearly enough. So Yatoro drops to the deck. Another big kill for Tundra.
Yeah, so starts with the Stomp there because he doesn't have vision. So when he blinks up the high ground, his hero needs to use its turn rate first because he doesn't know exactly where Jugger is, and that makes the Stomp faster. So it's really just clean. Heads up play there from 33, and you need inhuman reactions to not get stomped there.
Yeah, okay, that's maybe what I was thinking is the turn rate aspect. If you're blinking ahead of them and you have to turn around, then War Stomp is better.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'm just trying to take notes for my own Doom play because it's a very low win rate, as you might imagine. Like, extremely low.
Worse than your Pudge?
And my Pudge is great now, actually.
What's its win rate?
Well, for the last, in the battle report or whatever, I had like an 88% win rate.
Wow.
With like
That's really good.
13, 14 games played.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty good. I know.
Yeah.
I don't hit hooks. I just buy Blink and then I eat them.
Thanks for smurfing, Suns.
I don't use the hook at all.
That's actually the secret to Pudge. That's what people don't get. You don't even skill hook.
Yeah.
Let's go 0-4-4.
Overrated.
0-4-4 Dagger Ags.
Now, Poshka has Lotus. My goodness. He's more farm than I'm used to seeing this stage. It's only 27 minutes as well. Really prioritize that item.
Those 2 Philosopher Stones are very handy.
Oh, Laurel gets off the Shackle Shot with the Focus Fire as well. 33 is on the other side of the trees, though. And Laurel now surrounded by members of Tundra. And again, Tundra get the free pickoff, and they haven't even really tried to use the Aegis, which only has 15 seconds left now. Dust is going to whiff here as Collapse TP's out.
So in the last 10 minutes, Tundra or Spirit have got 3 kills.
Yeah, that... Wait, who? Tundra?
Spirit.
Spirit
have killed 3 heroes the last 10 minutes.
It feels like that.
And you were talking about their lineup. It's a Spirit Breaker strat, right?
Yeah.
If that's not finding any kills in this stage of the game, it's generally a bad omen. And it's difficult to play Spirit Breaker under these circumstances. The Void Spirit is a tough target. The Doom's a tough target. Oh boy.
Malrine, he wants to find...
Nice disrupt there, but
actually,
probably
the
not going to be fine anyway.
But Mira does get frost shielded, but there's the nullifier again. Gets taken out swiftly. Now the reset from Tundra onto the high ground of Spirit's Triangle. You can see the butterfly now online for Yatoro, but they do spot him, and there's the Doom. He's stuck in the corner. Collapse can only watch from afar.
And if they clicked his inventory and saw that butter, they could just go high ground. There is no way he's going to have buyback after buying that item just now. So, and they don't stand a chance at fighting without Jug. Tundra might not have realized this, so perhaps they're just going to settle for a tier 2 tower plus... Is Roche up? Not quite yet. So they could get the tier 2 and, oh, collapse.
Malrine, nullifier again, showing how powerful it can be in these situations. Collapse actually will get the charge off, but not quite enough as 33 ends up getting the kill. Was that the Infernal Blade damage over time?
That's that burn.
It's pretty tasty delight. See the replay. Nullifier is such a crazy item.
Nice attempt here from Collapse. He couldn't really have done it any better. But
oh, so close. Poor young lad. He's got a cactus in his background.
Huh.
That's nice. I like cactuses.
I was more looking at his reaction, but you know, people look at different things when they see a picture.
It's unusual to see a cactus when it's not from where I am, which is where they're native.
Now, what I noted earlier was that Collapse didn't do his hair today. To me, that is the rare thing.
I see.
It's an interesting. It's more of a chill look today to match the game that he's had so far.
It has felt a little too chill from Team Spirit. Not aggressive enough.
It's been hard. I think Tundra's just really had their number in this game, and they've been making some solid moves. And especially, I just want to say, you need to have a really good plan to get 33 Doom.
Can we get the full picture of Collapse's background, please?
You just really love that cactus.
That's a nice cactus. I have one like that in the backyard. It actually grows almost like tentacles.
Does it
has
matter
little babies?
If it's like this, if it's like really small cactus, is it a succulent or is it still a cactus?
No, I think succulent is something entirely different.
It's just, is that a type of plant? Because when I think succulent, I think like these little potted plants that have a little plant in them. That's succulents, right? It's not like a type.
All right, we'll investigate this later because I'm sure everyone's extremely bored. We're talking about plants, for God's sake. I just wanted to say I like cactuses.
Okay.
And just end the conversation there, but you just had to keep going, as usual. By the way, cactuses and cacti are both correct.
Why are you still talking about it? You said it was
Laurel. They're going to spot him. They actually pop the Lincolns first and then get the nullifier off. Wind Ranger actually gets saved for the time being, but they're going to take out that pesky Shadow Demon first and eventually do find the Wind Ranger. Finally, the Omni Slash comes. It's doing quite a bit. 33 does get off the Doom just in time, and it's on the Space Cow. As 2 now dead from Tundra, but it looks like they're going to clean up most of these heroes, and now the next on the list is the Juggernaut, and Mira TP's in to try to save his carry, but it's not going to happen as Skeeter with the Ultra Kill. GG's already called. Will he get the Rampage first, though? That is the only question. Rampage coming? No.
Oh, Malrine
steals it.